Hi, and welcome to the Revive, Thrive, and Optimize podcast. I'm Billy Weiss, compounding pharmacist and health and wellness expert. As always, I am joined by my co-host and friend Janet, and behind the scene is producer Mike and friend. So we're really excited today. We're going to talk about an annual once-a-year event. So Janet, take over.
Well, good evening. I'm glad it's evening and not early in the morning. We do this podcast every week. So there is a new episode that comes out every Sunday or Monday?
Sunday evening.
Every Sunday evening. So please subscribe, and then you'll be on the list and you'll be notified when a new one comes out each week. And we have lots of topics. And I did want to tell Billy one thing, that our podcast on hormones, it's actually is the first in a 3-part series, came out yesterday, and I have been inundated with questions and phone calls, even had people calling me from California. And when I listened to our podcast again today, I actually had to take notes because there was so much information. So you guys, every week, a new podcast.
Yeah, Janet, I had people even texting me on Sunday night wanting the second part. When's that progesterone part coming out? I'm like, well, this one just come out about an hour ago, so calm down.
Yeah.
So progesterone part 2 next week.
All right, and this is really fun for me. So I'm Billy's co-host. I get to ask lots of questions. I am not the expert, but I'm learning, and I'm so thankful to get to do this. And the way that I got here was someone brought me to one of your free evenings, which was an introduction to a class that you teach. It was in 2016. I remember it because it was on my birthday when I took your class in 2016. And I was having problems with arthritis. I was overweight. My stomach hurt all the time. I was bloated, and I'd had a long history long ago with eating disorders, and I wanted to learn more about how this whole thing works, right? Yep. Mind, body, the whole thing, right? And so when I took Billy's class, it was so amazing that I have taken it 8 more times. So I try to take it every year. And it's usually in January. And this coming year, 2025, it's going to be January 4th.
4th and 5th.
4th and 5th, which is all day on a Saturday and half day after church on
it's
Sunday.
Really now. It's
all day,
2
all day.
full days.
2 full days.
We've added classes, Janet.
That's right. So, last time it was all day, both
all day.
days.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. You get a manual. And in this manual, there's so much information and so many different topics that we cover. We'll go over what some of those are. You'll get to do an in-body, and you'll get a printout of your body composition. You'll get information of where to go get a blood panel, and you'll learn what your blood panel means. So I love that I keep my OptiU manual on me at all times. I have all my blood work, all my in-bodies from over the years that I save in here, and then I can look back and compare. So I want to encourage people to sign up for your class, and I know I'm talking a lot, but I remember I had just moved to Shelby, I was not working, and I wanted to take your class, and it was around $1,000, and that was a lot. I didn't have that at the time, and I didn't want to ask anybody to borrow money. So I said, well, I want to combine my birthday in November, my Christmas, and anything else that you were going to give me presents for to my friends, and had people chip in so I could take the course. The cool thing, though, is that there's so much information that you're going to want to repeat the course.
Right.
And it's very exciting. And you're thinking, sitting in a classroom all day long on a weekend, oh my gosh, it's awesome, because you're in there with other healthcare providers and biohackers and people's heart-to-heart testimonials whose lives you have changed. It really is an amazing, exciting, heartfelt, warm, spiritual, enlightening, life-changing weekend. So I can't say enough, but anyway, you'll have a link of how to sign up, right?
Yeah, if they'll go to optiurx.com, there'll be a link there to sign up. It'll be very limited in space, as always. You know, last year we
were packed.
We were literally over. Yeah,
you had people from all over the country. I think you had someone from California,
Montana,
Florida, Alabama, Montana,
Louisiana.
Yeah,
we had them from all over. So we'll sell about 30 tickets, and that'll be it, Janet.
All right.
So people will need to
Click on
If
that
they're
link.
serious about it, they need to go on and be thinking about reserving a space. Yeah, because once we put this out, tonight's the first time. I mean, we just chose the dates. Tonight's the first time anybody's hearing about it. So this is their chance to sign up.
Now, if it's a couple, will you still do a discount
There'll
for
be
two
a slight
people?
discount for two
couples.
people.
Okay.
And there will be a discount for anybody who's already been through and paid to come through the class.
Oh, that's what I was going
so
to say.
you get a discount
each
obviously
time you
because
come through, right.
Yeah. So you'll get quite a steep discount. I
It
try to
is.
make it really inexpensive for people who've already paid full price.
And you do, and we thank you for that because
Yeah.
I don't ever want to miss it.
Right. And I appreciate that. And Janet, you say class, I'm going to say classes.
Yes, let's
'Cause
talk
it's
about
actually 15 classes now. It used to be 12. We've expanded it to increase more talk about hormones in more detail, more talk about peptides, more talk about peptide bioregulators, and some new programs we have like the Women's Type 2 Diabetes Solved program,
Oh, wow.
which will solve not only type 2 diabetes, but overweight, obesity, fibromyalgia.
The whole symphony.
I mean, you just name it, it'll help. Yeah, it'll fix it.
So give us the rundown of what are all the classes.
Oh, goodness. I don't know if I can list them
Okay.
all.
Well,
but
if
I
you
can
can't list them all, I have
can-
my manual.
I can list a bunch of them.
Let's test Billy and see if he
yeah.
knows what he's teaching.
The first one is I think the one that really sets the stage, and it's the broken healthcare system. So I go through these data points and these statistics that show just how, I mean, I don't know any other way to say it, pathetic our healthcare system really is, and how pathetic it is if we follow the standard of care. So I want to first show people in class 1 what the problems are and why America, I think the last time I looked, we were 68th in length of life. That means that 67 other countries live longer than Americans, despite spending the most money by far, not even close, on healthcare. And I often wonder, I can't name 67 other countries.
Well, me
You know,
either. And
so-
we all think that America is the healthiest country, but it's not.
Just the opposite.
I mean, we have great emergency care.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you
Absolutely.
if you break your arm, boom. But I think that first class that you're talking about gets everyone really mad, and
Yeah.
some people will cry when you think about some of the missed opportunities and things that have happened to family members. It's very emotional.
It
the
does
beginning.
make a lot of people mad, not only for themselves when they learn, but for family members. Just, I mean, that's the whole motivation behind all this was
Your
was Granny.
grandmother.
Yeah. You know, so she was mistreated by the medical community, and it continues to go on just like it did way back then. It's still going on today, unfortunately. So
What's the next class?
then the next class is we start covering the 5 pillars. So we talk about God-given quality foods. We talk about the world's best nutritional supplements.
All these supplements. We have your, this is what your multivitamin looks like.
Yep. Foundational 4 is what you have there.
This is his probiotic. Digestive enzymes. I carry this one in my purse all the time. And magnesium. And if you can't do anything else, start with magnesium.
Yes, absolutely. So then we cover the 5 foundations of the OptiU program. We cover God-given quality foods. We cover the world's best nutritional supplements. We cover water from a medical device. We cover science-based movement or exercise. We cover sleep. Then we talk about being prepared. We talk about preparation. Then we do hormones, diabetes, heart disease.
Wait. So hormones.
Yep.
Whole class on hormones. Whole class on diabetes.
Yep.
Whole class on heart disease.
Correct. I mean, when you think about it, right? Heart disease is the number 1 killer in America. We got to cover that. And how to reduce the risk by 82%, according to the studies, of all heart disease.
And
then
you know, you said according to the studies. So what I love about this is that you are actually giving us the studies. You're showing us where you found the studies. Where does this
Right.
information come from? And then people can research for themselves.
Yeah, it's
as
not
well.
Billy's opinion.
Right.
That's what I tell them. It's not. It's my experience,
Right.
but it's not my opinion.
Right.
We're doing true science-based program,
Right.
not what the drug companies say is science-based, which is they're half the time made up, manipulated ways of doing things. But anyway, then we do cancer, the second leading cause of
Cancer's a
death in the
big
United
one.
States.
Yeah.
And how do you reduce the risk of that? By 50% with one supplement. We talk about that, and you can reduce the risk more than that. And knowing that 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will have cancer in their lifetime, if we can make that 50% or more or less, that's a big deal. And if anybody, and most people have experienced a family member, a friend, somebody with cancer, and they know how tough that is on everybody involved. Then we do the mind, how important our mindset is. Mm-hmm. We do peptides, peptide bioregulators, and then the women's type 2 diabetes program. I believe I named them all. I'm dang close if it wasn't 15.
And it's so exciting because, you know, you get all the way through the class on Saturday and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to be in a classroom all day on Saturday, but then nobody wants to leave.
Yeah.
People are talking and asking questions, and then we come back on Sunday and we finish.
Well, and we eat really good food.
You feed
the healthy,
us.
good food.
And there's a whole recipe. There's a whole recipe booklet that you'll
correct. Yeah, they get not only the manual, they get the recipe,
shopping list.
They get the shopping list. They get the list of my blood panel that I suggest they get. So it's a lot of value, Janet. I mean, it's way, way undervalued. I mean, it's not even close what I charge for it, what it's worth. I really do believe this, and you can definitely correct me, and we didn't talk about this. I believe it's the best way to learn, period, how to take care of your health and be the CEO of your own health. And I explain it hopefully in ways that make it obvious why what we're doing is failing so bad and why insulin resistance is the key to all this, and nobody is measuring their insulin. And so why balancing the hormones is so important. We didn't talk about thyroid. I don't think in any of those three classes.
No, we do need to.
And we need to do that because those are hormones. And so that's why it's such a long.
You do talk about the thyroid gland a lot in your class, though.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
We didn't talk about it
we
yet
didn't, and we were talking more about what we'll call the sex hormones for men and women, and specifically for women. But thyroid hormones are extremely misunderstood in the medical field. They're extremely important for health. They're extremely important against heart disease. They're extremely important against cancer, extremely important against diabetes and obesity and overweight. So we have to cover these things, and we have to have people understand. And I think that we're able to put this together in a way with the protein shakes and the quality snacks and the quality food and the breaks and the InBody and that it's not like being in a classroom all day. It's like a learning experience.
It is.
That's what we want it to be.
It's very experiential, lots of testimonials from people. And then he's actually showing us products like, here's a shortcut when you go to the grocery store. Here's how you read this label. And then just being able to give us so much information and so many tools in our toolbox so that, you know, as soon as we leave your class, we're ready. And I remember how easy it was. I think that I was a sugarholic, and the day of your class, we decided we were going to follow your program, and for 14 weeks straight, it was the easiest thing, and then we were just kind of on it after that, you know, and it's been 8-9 years now.
You know, Janet, that's the thing that I find so interesting is that once you really, and that's what I keep talking about in the class, you have to make this a lifestyle. You have to change your mindset. You have to know you can do it. You have to believe you can do it. You have to want to do it. But once you do it, you don't want to not do it because of the way you feel, the way you look, the way you perform, the way, you know, I mean, I know you won't say this, but I will. I know you get compliments all the time on the way you look, the way you're active, the way you're able to still do and teach hot yoga, Pilates, all these things. And I will tell you that I know and I see and hear from people that Janet, man, she looks awesome, you know, and she's so flexible and she's so strong, and you get that, and I know you do. And Beth gets that, and people who do the class and do the program get it.
This InBody, and getting on that machine, which he has at his office on Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia, get on the InBody. That to me means everything, because coming from a place where I used to have an eating disorder, I have a very warped view of what I look like. So what I see in the mirror is maybe not actual a reality, but this
Yes.
will tell me that, I haven't lost any muscle or that I've lost fat. And it's so funny because I just grabbed one from, 2017. And yeah, what a huge difference. So thank you.
Yeah, Janet. And that's the thing is when you do the right thing and you give your body the right supplements and you give your body the right food and you sleep well and you drink the right water and you exercise, when you get away from that and you do things that we don't recommend, your body tells you very quickly and it will self-correct you. People go, oh my gosh, I thought that Coke or whatever, that Sundrop was going to be awesome. And I drank a couple sips and I threw it away.
Yeah, it burned.
It really, your body is very amazing in the fact that it knows what it needs. And when you give it to it, it will perform. And what I've found is that most people can overcome almost all conditions, not 100%, but almost all conditions by just simply following these 5 pillars of the OptiU plan.
Well, it is simple, but when you back it by all the studies and all this information, it makes so much sense. And I need to know the why behind what I'm doing. And when I know the why, when I'm reading that label and I know what that bad seed oil does to me and things like that and how that drives my inflammation. And then there's the arthritis. And so just knowing why is such a big deal.
Janet, it's really sad because I did a couple consults today that were very, I know this sounds crazy, but they're very mentally tiring. The first one was a lady from Canada. Ottawa, Canada. She come in and we did a consult and her daughter was with her. And this lady comes in and she has a lot of different issues going on. And she doesn't tell her daughter until in my office doing this consultation, the 3 of us, that she has breast cancer. And so now the daughter's crying, the mom's crying, and I'm sitting here, oh my gosh. But we talked about the power of the right supplements, the power of controlling her sugar and her insulin, the power.
Well, you gave her the tools.
Of progesterone,
hope.
The power of bioidentical, compounded micronized progesterone. And so, she left there. They both left there. Well, the daughter didn't know until then, but she left there and she said, I feel like I have hope. I have a chance now. Yeah, and I told her, and I tell every cancer patient, and unfortunately I do a lot of cancer consults, I can't tell you that we'll give you another day, but I can tell you for sure we'll improve your quality of life. Whatever time you have left, and maybe we extend it too, even better. And so that was number one. And so that was first thing this morning. It was like, boom, a hammer hits you in the head. They told me I have breast cancer. I need a mastectomy, all this stuff comes out. And so then this afternoon, I had a consultation with a man that's 70 years old, very active, very healthy now, seemingly. Looks healthy, trim and fit looking, but he had a heart attack. And they have him on 80 milligrams of atorvastatin, which is a statin drug, generic Lipitor. And he feels like crap, and he hurts all over, and he can't function. And the sad part is they're teaching him to eat seed oils only, no butter, no tallow, no lower your cholesterol, lower your cholesterol, lower your cholesterol. And it just breaks my heart and why people need to know this information in these 15 classes.
Know how important cholesterol is, the whole class on cholesterol.
And 70% of heart attack victims have perfectly normal cholesterol levels. So how can it be his cholesterol?
And we need cholesterol for our brains.
He's on this list of drugs, right? And so he's being depleted of all these vitamins and minerals, and nobody's talking to him about replacing them. So we went through that. And so the reason that I say that's emotionally draining is I take this stuff serious. It's like a member of my family sitting there, and I want to help them as much as I wanted to help Granny.
Yeah.
And so when I'm trying to teach these 15 classes, I want people to really, really get it. And that's why I do it one time a year and one time a year only, because it is a very tedious thing to get set up for and get all the food prepared.
Yeah.
But then the teaching is just mentally tough. It is really tough. So, as somebody who's teaching classes, trying to do multiple back-to-back 2 days in a row.
While answering questions.
And all these people depending on you. And I have so many people that come to me in their really bad spots. You know, it's not like they're coming to me going, hey, I want to go to the CrossFit Games. I want to run a marathon.
Well, I see you like a coach. You know, your delivery is kind of like a coach. My dad was a football coach, and he's coaching, and you're very serious, and your information is very strict and serious, but at the same time, like, you're our biggest fan. You're our coach. You're supporting us. You want everybody to win. You want victory for us. And we can feel that in that class. So thank you. And then when you're around other people who are struggling and we're all supporting each other, just having that accountability and that group of people to interact with is
well, you're right, Janet. It is like-minded people. And just think about the group that we were in just this January.
It was great.
This January, so 24. We had a couple, not a couple, we had a mom and 2 children that flew from Maryland or Maine, somewhere up north. Yeah. I think it might have been Maine. Then we had Hollis from Louisiana.
You had a couple from Florida.
We had Melissa from Montana. We had the people from California. I can't remember their names. We had, Marty and Tina from Florida. I mean, we had people literally from all 4 corners of the country. And they not only paid for the class, but they had to pay for travel. They had to pay for flight. They had to pay for where they were going to stay. They had to eat while they were here when they weren't in the classes. So, I mean, these people are, we had a couple from Raleigh, which is not that far.
I got 2 spare bedrooms. If anybody wants to come to Shelby and you need a place to stay, you can stay at my house.
So it really is a weekend that people can walk away and know exactly what to do. Now, they may not do it. They may not want to do it, but they know what to do and they know why they need to do it. So in the beginning, people used to tell me all the time, just tell me what to do. And I did that. And they would do it for a short time. But then what would happen, Janet, is they would begin to doubt, or they would begin to hear different things.
The cravings take over.
And the ghrelin and the hormones. And so they would not stick with it. But when you teach people why, and you really make them understand why you're saying, hey, I suggest you don't drink alcohol. I suggest you don't do this. I suggest you don't do that. They know in their mind, I try to use analogies, right? I try to use these stories that make sense to people. And so hopefully now they get it and they go, yep, I can do that, but here's what's going to happen. And so it makes people more likely to make it a lifestyle. And that's why the mind class, to me, is one of the most important classes. Yeah. Because they're going to go out, and I make this very clear, right? They're going to go out and almost everything we learned in those 15 classes over Saturday and Sunday, the medical system is going to tell them is wrong. Okay?
And here comes the anger again. They're going to be mad.
That's right.
And frustrated.
They're going to hear the Diabetes Association talk about the things that I read from the Diabetes Association.
Being the opposite of what you need to eat.
Yeah, being what I read from the Heart Association.
It's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing.
It is.
It is. And once they kind of comprehend, he's reading from their material, and that's why I bring their material. So that people can't say, well, he just making that up. I read from their material after we go through the studies of what you should do. And you got to make a decision at some point, right?
And it's interesting to me, in the beginning, I was like, oh, I don't want my doctor to know about this, or I'm scared my doctor will get mad if I ask these questions. But now what I'm noticing is more and more doctors are coming to your course.
Absolutely.
And they're learning. And, we did a podcast last week on what are your credentials? What is your experience? How many years have you been doing this? How many heart surgeons have you taught nutrition to? Things like that, So that's a really good, it's a good time to come ask Billy questions, find out how we learned all this, and Janet, just add it to your toolbox.
Oh, Kangen water, that's a class.
Oh, we do a great class on hydration.
I think you brought it up in a different podcast, but I actually was paid by a group of cardiologists in Florida And they flew Beth and I down several weekends. I don't remember how many. And we did these classes. We did this seminar, this weekend, 15 classes, but then it was 12. But we did it a few at a time. So they flew us down multiple weekends. We've had heart surgeons, we've had general practitioners, we've had hormone doctors, we've had nurse practitioners, PAs, nurses, physical therapy doctors, anesthesiologists. I mean, we've had just a plethora of different people come through in the healthcare field.
And people in pharmacy school, too, because you do teach.
Absolutely. Had a lot of pharmacists. And I had a nurse practitioner actually text me today. It's so funny that this is the class you wanted to, or our discussion today was to talk about these classes. She told me, she said, Billy, I went back and reviewed your hormone lecture from the class. Like, she reviewed her notes, and she said, and this is now 8 months later, right? She said, I literally feel like I'm a kid in school having to learn again. Yeah. She said, and she said something really important, and this is really key. I have to unlearn what I was taught in school to really learn what's true. Yeah. And that makes it hard because one of the things that they talk about with psychology is the first time you learn something, the way you learn it, that's the way you think it's right, even if it's wrong. So the first way you learn something, though, that's what your go-to, that's what your default is. And so it does take some reprogramming, some unlearning to be able to see, oh, I was wrong about levothyroxine. I was wrong about testosterone.
You know, or maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. But if you put all the information together, then they can be the CEO. They can figure it out. They can make the decision. Yeah. They can work together with their doctor, and they can treat the whole system because if it's all connected.
Yeah. Well, you say that, and that's one of the things. The gentleman that come in this afternoon with the heart attack and the Lipitor, he said, you think I should stop taking the Lipitor? I said, look, it's not up to me. I'm not your doctor. I said, go read the wall outside when we leave. It says, be the CEO of your own health. I said, I gave you the information. You got to decide what you want to do. So you're right, Janet. It gives them the power. It empowers people to make the right decisions for them, their spouses, their children, their grandchildren, whoever, because we have to remember, if we keep going down this path we're going down, I'm not sure what's going to happen to the nation. We can't find people qualified to go into the military, enough people. We did the interview with Johnny Pacehour, the training director for the Gaston County Police. He can't find qualified candidates. They keep, and I say this they keep dumbing it down. They keep making the test easier and easier. You have to run the mile and a half, and more. You have more and more time. You have to do less push-ups, less pull-ups. I mean, we can't continue to survive, I don't think, if we don't turn some of this around at some point. Right. I mean, childhood diabetes is up 1,000% in the last decade.
Well, look what kids are eating in school, and we're not learning anything about nutrition, and most of the time not doing PE. I just pulled out the first page of my notes, and the very first thing you say for us to write down is, in your class, the first thing that we will do is you write, I am the CEO of my own health. And so I just cannot tell you how much that's helped me, my husband, and it has been like a ripple effect to our family. And thank you so much. And you guys got to come, sign up. You're going to probably take about 30 people or so.
30 people.
We'll have the link in the podcast, so get in there and sign up.
Absolutely. Janet, thank you so much, as always.
Thank you. I can't wait to see you on the weekend.
Producer Mike, behind the light. Thank you, dude.
Mike.
All right. See ya.